Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast tournament in review. Today, a team event, a new list, and 5 games. Let's dive in.
The Dark Kid.
Hello and welcome to another tournament in review. I haven't done one of these in a while because I've been really busy doing some cool content with mini wargaming. However, I'm back in the studio here at the Tabletop Forge in Barrie, Ontario. I'm going up to an event called Battle at the Bridge, which is in Sault St Marie, Ontario. That's 7 hours away from where I am. So if this is your first time here, let's go over the list, go to the event, play the games, and come back and learn what I learned. 2,000 points of Drukhari and no Void-Driven Bombers in sight. Let's go over the list and what the initial thought concept is. I decided to run a Sky Splinter Assault, but as you can see, I added a lot of Coven units. So this is sort of like a little bit different to my normal lists that I do. The main thing is I wanted to have some more tough units in the list, but I still wanted to keep sort of like the theme of speed and being able to get out of my transports and get in and out of my transports and being able to reactive move. I just find the stratagems in Sky Splinter to be way cooler than in Real Space Raid. In the HQs, we have Lilith Hesperax, we have Urien Rakarth, an Archon Warlord, and of course, the Beastmaster with his beasts. If you're having trouble sourcing the beasts, these are like wargs from Lord of the Rings. That's an actual metal cloth fiend. And these are the birds from the Beast Pack spell set. I decided to try and make them all Games Workshop models. So when I go to the World Team Championship of Warhammer, they're all GW stuff. So I don't have to worry about any sort of like model policies. I have a Court of the Archon. They go with the Archon and the 5 Cabalites that I split with all of the guns. So I split the Cabalites, so 5 Cabalites with rifles and one of the 2 Venoms. And then the 5 Cabalites with guns go with the Court and the Archon in the Raider. The other Venom splits the 10 Witches. And I have 5 Witches with the Sergeant with Lilith in the Venom. And then 5 more Witches that tend to go in Strategic Reserve. To round out the list, I have 2 units of 5 Racks. I have 2 units of 5 Mandrakes, 2 Chronos with all the upgrades, 3 units of 3 Grotesques with liquefier guns, 2 units of 5 Scourge with 4 Dark Lances in each. I normally do 1 Haywire and 1 Dark Lance, but 2 Dark Lances made sense since I'm bringing 4 Talos, each with twin liquefier guns, Talos Gauntlet, and the twin Haywire Blasters. So enough Haywire in the list. I needed some Dark Lances to supplement. And there you have it. It's a lot more of a board pressure style list where I can stage lots of MSU units. The durability should be there to do a lot of actions and score lots of points. So let's go to the event and see how I did. And then when we get back to the studio, we're going to go over what I learned and tips and tricks for the next time, and if I might make any adjustments to the list itself. And we've shown up at the venue. It is at the Sioux. It's called the Water Tower Inn. And it's really, really nice. I got to travel 3 hours with Davis. We left at
4:45.
5 o'clock in the morning from Sudbury.
We're fresh.
No. And John the Cron's going to be streaming, so he's setting up the stream, and the tables are all set up. It's 8 teams of 5. I'm playing with OwWow, or Our Wives Weary of Warhammer, which is a fantastic name for a team. And I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get to round number 1 and check it out as well. Round number 1, I'm playing as Matthew and Bringers of Flame Sisters. So every single one of these it has because of the terrain, they have one like funky terrain. It's kind of like the theme of the event. So you have like one table that's like really wacky terrain, and this is one of them, it's basically like a Zone Mortalis board. Really interesting. So we'll see how this goes for sure. But it's awesome. We got like the dregs. Nobody wanted to play on it. We ended up getting it. Yeah. So monsters and vehicles have to go through the doors. Infantry can breach the walls. And that is the ritual. So the sisters are going first, and they've started putting their rituals down. So wish me luck. At the end of the game, was very good for the Dark Eldar. I was able to essentially push up this doorway and overwhelm this entire, like all the stuff that was deployed here
and essentially isolate it and kill it, Morven Vol basically came around, and then I pushed through these doors and opened them up and essentially was able to shoot at Morven Vol. Very weird table. This was definitely a table 2002. It was the table tabling. Huh? Yeah. There you go. And other than that, the MVPs goes to the Court of the Archon, basically jumping out, killing a bunch of stuff with shooting. I literally used the Sustain 2 shot thing on the court, and each of the blast pistols got 3 hits, and then the blaster got 3 hits when I shot at the end of the game. It was crazy. Best use of a CP ever. So with that, on to round number 2. Round number 2, playing into Custodes, double Caladius tank, Venatari, Alaris Terminators, Draxus, an assassin, Flamer ladies, a whole bunch of stuff. So it's taken hold, Crucible, and hidden supplies. So a lot of stuff going on. Cool. Also, if you want a cool set of objectives, make sure you check them out at the Red Dragon. The link is in the description, and there's a code, 15% off the entire store. But if you want a set, they're limited and they're going quickly, and they get shipped to you wherever you want in the world, and you can get a cool Skari set as well. And that's the end of round number 2 into the Custodes. I ended up winning that game. There was a crucial moment on turn 2 where Kyra Draxus and her guard squad, I was able to get a nice angle with a bunch of Dark Lances, and they failed like every invulnerable save they needed to make, which then killed the whole squad, and then a Venom finished Kyra, which gave me like Assassinate, prevented scoring for points, and then from there, like the Alaris ended up having to come in on this side. Of course, screening the entire table is super important against stuff that deep strikes or can up be downy, so I was able to basically move block or zone the whole table, which really helped in this matchup. And then I was able to really use the court effectively to jump out, hit some stuff, jump back into the Raider, and do this over and over again. At the end of the game, at the end of the day, it was a good learning experience, and I'm looking forward to the next round. I'm really liking the Talos and the Grotesques. Very different than my Void Raven Bomber list, but it's vibing with me, which is really cool. Round number 3, playing Patrick from Deamons. Make sure to check out his store. I'll put a link in the description down below. And over here we're doing Chaos Knights. He's going first. It's Scorched Earth. And we did my scout moves. They're like hidden away. Anyway, cool. It'll be fun because it's going to be a bloodbath. Bloodbath, I say. Awesome. Okay, so at the end of the game, I did end up winning that game 17-3. I tabled the Knights, considering the Knights were here turn 1, and I didn't kill a single Knight turn 1. But I was able to essentially flip up this way, kill the Knights here, and then move my way back this way. What a crazy game. I was able to burn his home objective. I was able to stop him from burning any of the objectives. It was a crucial moment where the Rampager Kool-Aid manned through here and rolled a 1 to Battle Shock. And then there was another moment where he tried to advance and charge and rolled a 1 even on a reroll, preventing him from getting into one of my units that was marked for death. What a great game. With that, 2 more rounds tomorrow, but really having a lot of fun. Make sure you check out Patrick's store. The link will be in the description. One of the coolest things about going to a team event is you get to hang out with folks and eat food after. That's right, the team. Yeah, one more. There you are, the whole team. Round number 4, playing against Vanguard Nids. I ended up going first. I was able to move block the scout moves from all the Steelers. And it is supply drop. That objective remains, and these 2 are going to be disappearing. So right now we have like a crazy battle happening as we go, which is really cool. Overwatch was pretty good with the Talos, killed like half a squad of Steelers. Not bad. Okay, so with that, there's a Moloch and a Lictor in reserve. I've been fighting some Von Ryans back here with some Grotesques. Definitely an interesting dynamic as well. End of the game. So at the end, my court was able to get into Swarmlord and kill Swarmlord. But because I went first, I was able to sort of pin the Vanguard in their zone, and I was able to control the pace of the game, using my Dark Lances to take out some of the bigger monsters. And then I was able to kill the 1 Hive Tyrant. There was a crucial turn where Lilith made a nice charge into the Hormigons that were marked for death and got me some marked for death points. First time I've ever scored that card because it's so hard to do. But I essentially killed all the Tyranids, and in supply drop, this objective was remaining, and at the end of the game, I was able to solidify that win. So with that, we go into the last round of the event, round 5. Last round of the event, I'm playing against Deamons, Chaos Deamons. I went second. It is actually unexploded ordnance, so none of the objectives moved turn one. I was able to do an action to move that one. I was able to do an action to move that one. I was able to kind of kill the Bloodthirster that came up and murdered a unit of Racks that was screening. But yeah, into Deamons. So I killed the Lord of Change and the Bloodthirster turn one. I've almost killed the little plague drones. And there's a bunch of stuff in Deep Strike as well, because it is Deamons. So we'll see what happens as we move on.
And I didn't film anything at the end of that last game because we kind of packed up and had a 7-hour drive back, which was wild. I ended up winning that last game. It was a very good game into the Deamons. I was able to basically table the Deamons. And we ended up coming in 2nd place, which was awesome. Huge shout out to Davis and the crew from OwWow for having me on their team, which is awesome. I did want to give a special shout out to Adeptus Insanicus, which is the team that won the event, because in February 2023, they basically got me to come up to Timmins, Ontario. That's another far north place, to coach their team. Their aim was to get better. So I spent an entire weekend coaching them. And over the course of this year and a bit, I've been in contact with them, helping them develop. They've put so much work into training, developing, creating a good team dynamic, making sure their lists were on point, making sure they had goals, and they won their first team event. They've gone to, I think, 5 others. This was like their 6th try, and they went from last place at the BPO a couple of years ago to first place at this team event. So huge shout out to them. Of course, I played Patrick, the Chaos Knight player, who is part of that team, on my 3rd round. So make sure you check his store out, and a huge shout out to them. I'm so proud to see that team move up. Fantastic. Great job. So let's quickly dive into the list and what I learned. I really like this list. I really like the Talos. I kind of missed having the big, beefy Talos. The twin-linked Haywire was awesome to have. I do miss having the twin-linked Haywire guns. You know, their reliable damage was really, really good, and especially with their pain token regeneration, or being able to kill something, get permanently pain tokened. I had missed this. I'd actually missed having the Talos. They were quite good. The other thing that I was sort of debating with the grotesques, I will admit they didn't really kill anything. They were okay. They just kind of stood in place and took damage, and that was kind of what I needed them for. They had flamers, which did decent, but they didn't really kill anything in combat. Strength 5 on them was surprisingly kind of bad. And I think if I was to change anything in the list, it would probably be with the grotesques. Now, the character selection was great. Uri and Rakarth is a tank. I don't run him with any of the units. I run him on his own. 4-up Bimble, 4-up Feel No Pain. He gets back up on a 2+, and he heals the Talos, the Grotesques, and the Chronos. The 2 Chronos are a mainstay now in my lists for Pariah Nexus. They do a lot of actions and just hang around. The Racks were okay. Nothing bad. Having extra OC was okay as well, but nothing too crazy. So what would I change with this list? Well, I think I would drop probably one of the units of Grotesques at a minimum. And then with those points, I would probably add in a unit of Reaver jet bikes, because having a fast-moving objective secured unit would be really good. Might even do a 2nd unit of Reaver jet bikes by dropping one of these rack units. So 2 units of Reaver jet bikes, and then with the 20 points left over, I think I'm going to give my Archon the Nightmare Shroud to prevent Overwatch. It's not something you need to have, but it'd be a nice to have just to protect the court, because in this list, the court of the Archon did a lot of the heavy lifting. Especially jumping out, killing something, then jumping back into the Raider. In most games, doing that multiple times over and over just was so hard for my opponent to deal with. That court is the secret sauce in this list, and everything else sort of aims to support it so it can do the most amount of damage possible. And there you have it, folks. Another list, another tournament. I'm really excited for what comes next, and I hope you're enjoying the Pariah Nexus. Thanks for liking, sharing, leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Of course, thanks to the channel Patreons. This is possible, so if you'd like to support the channel, the link is in the description down below. The Dark Kin. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.